Hello, today I would like to show you how to rearrange the stitches of your tubular cast-on to switch it from a 1x1 rib to a 2x2 rib. I use this technique in the setup for my Bombini cardigan, so I'm going to show you a stitch arrangement like what is used in that design. Here we'll be starting with 1x1 rib, then switching to 2x2, then going back to 1x1. If you are not familiar with how to work a tubular cast-on, I have another tutorial for that, so go check that out before you take a look at this tutorial. And one important thing to remember for the way I work tubular cast-ons, if you started your cast-on with a slip knot, this pattern tells you, at least for the first piece you're working, that you need to start your piece with a knit stitch. That slip knot counts as your knit stitch, and the next stitch needs to be a purl. So I'm working on the assumption that that is the arrangement of your stitches as we're getting set up here. So we're going to start working in 1x1 rib. So knit this first stitch, and remember we're still working the second setup row of our tubular cast-on, so the next stitch is a slip one with yarn in front. Knit one, slip one with yarn in front, knit one, slip one with yarn in front. Now we're going to start rearranging our stitches for 2x2, and I'm going to take a stitch marker and place that on my right needle to mark the transition between 1x1 ribbing and 2x2 ribbing. So the first thing I will do is knit that first stitch. And then I'm going to take a cable needle, or my preferred holder for small numbers of stitches, a stitch marker, and take the next stitch, slip it and hold it to the back, and then knit the following stitch. Now we need to take the yarn to the front and take the stitch that is on the stitch marker and place it on the right needle. You want to be careful about the orientation of the stitch as you do this, and don't twist it as you're placing it back on the needle. That's easy to do as it's been on a holder. Now, keeping the yarn in the front, I want to slip the next stitch. So at this point I have 2 stitches that have been knit and then 2 stitches that have been slipped with yarn in front. And that is my, I now have 4 in a 2x2 organization. And we just repeat those steps. So I'm going to knit one, place a stitch on a stitch marker and hold it to the back, knit another one. Now with the yarn in the front, return the stitch on the stitch marker to the needle and slip the next stitch. Let's show that one more time. Knit one, place a stitch on a stitch marker, knit another one, return this stitch to the needle, and slip one more stitch with yarn in front. Now I'm going to show you how I work this without a cable needle, which I think is a little bit easier, but it is a little bit more daredevil move, so only if you're comfortable taking your stitches off the needles. So we're going to knit the first stitch, and then I want to swap the order of the next two stitches on the needle, holding the first one to the back. So I'm going to insert my needle into the second stitch in the front and pop both stitches off the needle and then reinsert my needle into that first stitch. And now I have swapped my stitch order, and I can knit into this stitch and slip 2. Let's show that one more time. Oops. I knit into that first stitch, and then I swap the order of the next 2 stitches. Knit into the next stitch and slip 2 with yarn in front. So I'm now wanting to switch back to 1x1 ribbing, but I want my stitches to end with knits on both ends of the 2x2. So I'm going to knit 1 stitch, place a stitch on the stitch marker, knit the next stitch. Now I'm going to place another stitch marker onto my right hand needle to indicate that I'm finished with my 2x2 ribbing. And now I'm going to place this stitch back on my right hand needle. And now to get us back in 1x1 ribbing, I'm actually going to knit the next 2 stitches together. And then go back to slip 1 with yarn in front and knit, slip 1 with yarn in front and knit, and slip 1 with yarn in front. So with this, I did make sure to cast on 1 extra stitch. That's calculated in the Bombini Cardigan pattern, but if you're using this for some other technique and you choose to do this knit 2 together approach to get back in 1x1 ribbing, you will need an extra stitch cast on there. And I hope this helps make it clear how to switch back and forth between 1x1 and 2x2 ribbing. You can see in this sample, we've got 1x1 on the side, and we've got then 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. So this will get you set up to have 1x1 and 2x2 ribbing, and then to be able to transition that into single and double brioche. I hope this has been helpful and you've enjoyed watching. Thank you.